Hey everyone, welcome back to Couch to Peaks. Today I'm making a different kind of video from the ones I've made in the past on this channel. I'm taking you on a hiking adventure across Japan. Imagine you're walking along thousand-year-old stone paths, surrounded by cedar trees and bamboo groves, with mist rolling through the mountains like something straight out of a Studio Ghibli film. That's the Kumano Kodo, the famous ancient pilgrimage trail in Japan. This is part 1 of a 3-part series I'm making on hiking the Kumano Kodo. In today's video, I'll walk you through my hiking journey and show some of the highlights from my recent Kumano Kodo hike. I'll take you through my entire experience day by day, including some pretty amazing encounters I had with local trail angels. In part 2 of this series, I will go over trip planning and logistics, how to get there, when to go, how to plan your itinerary, where to stay, plus all the resources you'll need to plan your trip. I will also offer some practical advice, things I wish I had known or would have done differently. And to wrap things up, in part 3, I will show you what I carried in my backpack during the hike and how I packed it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so you'll be notified when I upload part 2 and 3. Here's a quick look at what the Kumano Kodo actually is. Picture a network of pilgrimage trails crisscrossing the misty mountains of Japan's Kii Peninsula in Wakayama Prefecture, about a few hours south of Osaka and a couple of train rides away from Tokyo. Kodo literally means old roads, and these paths have been walked for more than 1,000 years by emperors, religious and spiritual seekers. In today's video, you'll find mossy cobblestones, cedar and bamboo forests, tiny mountain villages, and countless shrines and stone markers that have guided pilgrims for centuries. Hiking here isn't just exercise. It's stepping into a living tradition where nature, history, and spirituality all meet. So how did I end up here? Hiking the Kumano Kodo had been on my bucket list for years, but this trip came together at the last minute. I was already heading to Japan, found a small gap in my schedule, grabbed whatever accommodations I could, and just went for it. After a plane, a train, and finally a bus, I arrived at Takijiri-oji, the official trailhead for the Nakahechi Route. A little nervous, totally excited, and ready to start walking one of Japan's most popular pilgrimage trails. After that long journey to reach the trailhead, I finally stood at the stone marker for Takijiri-oji. Right away, you're greeted by a small shrine where pilgrims traditionally make an offering and say a prayer for safe passage. I did the same, and looking back, I'm convinced the mountain spirits were watching over me. This first stretch from Takijiri-oji to Takahara is about 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles of steady uphill through a dense forest. Climbing roughly 350 meters, that's about 1,200 feet, with no major descents. Uneven stone steps and tree roots had me questioning my decision to leave my trekking poles at home within the first 5 minutes. If you have knee issues or balance concerns, definitely bring poles for this section. I took my time, stopping to admire the views and listen to the forest. About 15 minutes in, I caught up with a group of hikers from California. Talk about a small world. Hiking with them turned what could have been a solitary hike into a lively shared adventure. Well, he won't be eaten by bears. The trail from Takijiri-oji to Takahara is mostly through dense forest. You get this incredible sense of being completely removed from modern life.
Yeah, no, I think because this is that.
Not a cave this time.
Right.
Optional detour.
It's less claustrophobic. No.
Along the way, you pass smaller shrines where you can collect unique stamps in your booklet, each one marking another spiritual waypoint. Between the trees, you'll occasionally catch glimpses of distant mountains and quiet villages below. It's like walking through the frames of a Miyazaki film. The payoff comes at the end. a dramatic vista overlooking a traditional tea farm nestled in green mountains. It's exactly what you pictured when you think of rural Japan.
So you're going to be on the trail in a couple of days, the same as us, or not? You're on a different part of the trail.
Yeah, I'm on the same part, but I'm only doing sections.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I'm going to Hongu.
After saying goodbye to my new hiking friends, I headed to the bus stop. That's where my first trail angel appeared. I was confused about which direction to go to catch my bus. A local woman approached and showed me the right direction. As we walked towards the bus station together, I discovered that she actually worked as a Kumano Kodo guide. When she realized that I had just missed the bus and had to wait another hour for the next ride, she and her husband offered to drive me back to my hotel in Tanabe. I mean, what were the odds? On my very first day, I was rescued by someone who literally makes a living guiding people on this trail. It was a perfect welcome to this pilgrimage, a challenging climb, unexpected companionship, and a taste of the kindness and hospitality that will follow me the whole journey. Once I arrived in Tanabe, it was time to check into my hotel. It was a standard Japanese hotel room. There wasn't anything available to eat at the hotel, so I walked to the convenience store to grab my dinner. So day 2 was supposed to be another hiking day, but it turned out to be a rest day for me. I've been having terrible sleep for several nights before arriving in Japan, and my body was telling me to slow down. Since this was also the night I booked a traditional inn with hot spring baths, I decided to slow down, listen to my body, and take a rest day. In the morning, I hopped on the bus to Kumano Hongu Taisha, one of the 3 grand Kumano shrines I'd be visiting on this journey. Each of these shrines carries a symbolic meaning. They represent the past, present, and future. Visiting all 3 grand shrines symbolizes a journey through time, letting go of the past, grounding yourself in the present, and opening your heart to the future. Kumano Hongu Taisha represents the future, a place to pray for blessings and salvation in the life ahead. After my visit, I took the bus to Watarase Onsen, my home for the night. It's a 5-minute downhill stroll from the bus stop, past cherry trees scattering pink petals on the path. My room has a traditional Japanese tatami and futon setting. It was spacious, clean, and lovely. After checking in, I took a nap before exploring the hot spring baths. Watarase has both large communal baths and private baths. After several hectic travel days, soaking in those mineral-rich hot springs was exactly what my body needed. Dinner was tempura udon served warm. Nothing fancy, just perfectly satisfying. By the end of the day, I felt like a different person. Rested, restored, and ready to keep going on the trail. After taking a rest day yesterday, I woke up feeling like myself again and ready to hike. My hotel offered a free shuttle to Hosshinmon Oji, saving me from juggling buses first thing in the morning. I took my sweet time at the trailhead. I sat on a bench with my coffee and a fresh pudding I bought at the hotel, just soaking in the morning atmosphere. The treetops were glowing with early sunlight, and there was this incredible sense of peace. Today's hike is from Hosshinmon Oji to Kumano Hongu Taisha. It's 7 kilometers with 300 meters of elevation gain. It's one of the most scenic and accessible sections of the Nakahechi Route, a gentle mix of forest paths, small villages, and panoramic views leading down to the grand Hongu Taisha shrine. About 20 minutes in, I met a Japanese man taking photos. He offered to snap one of me, and we started chatting. Turns out he's a professional mountain guide scouting the route for clients the following week. And just like that, I had a hiking companion again. We hiked together for the rest of the morning, and he patiently answered my questions about the trail, Japanese hiking culture, and the meaning behind different shrines. At the halfway point, we reached a rest stop near Fushimi-oji, where 2 ladies served fresh coffee in porcelain cups for 200 yen. We couldn't reach this rest stop at a better time, because it soon started to rain, followed by lightning and thunder. This rest stop soon became a United Nations of hikers, all congregated here temporarily, seeking shelter and sustenance. We swapped trail stories while waiting for the rain to stop. Since the rain didn't seem like it would be stopping anytime soon, I pressed on after my coffee break. I walked with my umbrella to keep my backpack and my hiking pants dry. The rain has created this mud waterfalls situation over the steps, so I had to walk extra carefully to avoid slipping. I was also trying to keep my hiking shoes dry, which I surprisingly managed to do for the duration of the hike. I think we're really close. Yeah, we're almost there.
Did you get something?
Oh yeah, I got a piece of fruit. There's some fiber in me. I finished the hike at Hongu Taisha, approaching from the back trail this time, which led directly into the shrine complex. The rain had stopped, and it was a nice finish for today's hike. Even though I had visited this shrine yesterday, I still learned something new. I somehow completely missed exploring the inner shrines yesterday. I also learned that this mountainside shrine was rebuilt in 1891, after a flood destroyed the original shrine down by the river. With time to spare before my bus, I walked to the original site at Oyuno-hara, where Japan's largest torii gate towers over the riverbank. Standing next to that massive gate, looking out over the river, I had this quiet moment of reflection about the journey so far. Then it was back to the bus stop, a train ride to Katsura, and checking at a simple hostel with private rooms. This was my accommodation for the night. My host mentioned Katsura's famous tuna, so I walked next door for a tuna dinner set, the perfect ending to a long, memorable day. Day 4 was one of the most scenic days of the whole trip. Waterfalls, shrines, and the hot springs onsen I'll never forget. I caught an early bus to Daimonzaka, the starting point for probably the most popular section of the Kumano Kodo. This trail leads to Nachi Falls, Japan's tallest single-drop waterfall. Starting early meant that I had the trail mostly to myself, and walking through the forest on mossy cobblestones felt like stepping into a green cathedral. The Daimonzaka section is this beautiful stone-paved path. The trail is relatively short, but incredibly scenic. You really feel like you're approaching something sacred. Along the way, I passed through a small village with souvenir shops and traditional restaurants. Soon the trees parted, and I got my first glimpse of Nachi Falls. At 133 meters, it's Japan's tallest single-drop waterfall, and the setting is just breathtaking. What makes Nachi Falls special is that there's actually a shrine dedicated to the waterfalls itself. Unlike other shrines that feature various deities, this one is dedicated to nature. You are essentially bowing and praying to the spirits of the waterfalls. I spent a good amount of time just sitting and listening to the falls. There's something hypnotic about the sound of rushing water, and you understand why ancient pilgrims saw this place as sacred and alive with spirit. From the falls, a well-marked trail leads up to Kumano Nachi Taisha, the second of the grand shrines. You pass the famous 3-story pagoda on the way, that classic photo spot with the waterfall in the background, before reaching the dramatic hilltop complex. And here it is, Kumano Nachi Taisha. Remember I mentioned earlier that each of the 3 grand shrines represents the past, present, or future? Nachi Taisha represents the present. You're invited to reflect on your life as it is right now. Standing at Nachi Taisha, I took in the sweeping view of the mountains stretching into the distance. The shrine setting feels incredibly dramatic, perched above the forest with a waterfall nearby. Of the 3 grand shrines, Nachi Taisha left the deepest impression on me, and I have to say it's my favorite. It was a little past noon, and I still needed to visit Hayatama Taisha in Shingu to officially complete my pilgrimage. A quick bus ride later, and I was at the 3rd and final grand shrine. Hayatama Taisha represents the past. You're invited to reflect on your past to cleanse old sins and renew yourself. As I walk around the shrine complex, I reflected on my journey these past few days. Even though I was initially disappointed by not being able to hike the entire trail due to my last-minute planning, I was glad how it turned out. I visited all 3 grand shrines and hiked the most beautiful sections of the trail at my own pace. I met lots of friendly hikers from all over the world, and if I wanted to come back to do it all over again, I would know exactly how to plan it the right way next time. This marked the official end of my Kumano Kodo hike, but the day wasn't over yet. I had one more surprise planned. A hot springs onsen built inside a natural cave right next to the ocean. From Katsura, I hopped on a turtle-shaped boat to Hotel Urashima. Even if you don't stay at the hotel, you can access their hot springs baths by getting a day pass. Since I didn't have much time, I headed straight to the biggest onsen, the Bokito Cave. And let me tell you, this cave onsen experience exceeded every expectation I had. You're soaking in naturally heated mineral waters inside this massive cave, with waves crashing right next to you. It felt surreal, like something out of a fantasy movie. With several pools at different temperatures and the sound of the ocean echoing off the rock walls, it was the perfect way to recover from days of hiking and celebrate finishing my Kumano Kodo pilgrimage. My last morning on the Kumano Kodo felt bittersweet. I spent the nights in a simple hostel in Katsura and ended up chatting late into the evening with hikers from Canada, China, Japan, and Switzerland. Hikers really are some of the friendliest travelers you'll meet. After checking out, I grabbed some rice balls and coffee for the train ride back to Osaka. Watching the coastline roll by from a window seat gave me time to process everything that had happened over the past 4 days. In such a short time, I walked through steep climbs, visited 3 grand shrines, soaked in mineral-rich hot springs, discovered hidden rest stops and local hospitality, and met people whose kindness turned a solo hike into a shared journey. Looking back at my Kumano Kodo experience, what struck me the most was the variety of experiences packed into just a few days. The trail manages to be both rugged and gentle. From rushing waterfalls to mossy forests, from quaint villages to healing hot springs, from ancient shrines to modern transportation networks. The Kumano Kodo has something for everyone. But the real highlight was definitely the people I met along the way. From local guides to foreign travelers, these encounters felt serendipitous and made the whole journey feel like more than just another hike. I came to Japan thinking I was just checking off another bucket list hike, but the Kumano Kodo turned out to be as much a spiritual journey as a physical one. Walking on trails that have been used for over 1,000 years has a way of putting my own journey and my own story into perspective. As the train curved along the ocean, I felt grateful, inspired, and already planning when I might come back. Thanks so much for coming with me on my Kumano Kodo journey. If you're enjoying this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you'll know as soon as the next videos are live. I can't wait to help you plan your own pilgrimage. See you on the next one.